Hey everybody, welcome back. So in a previous video, I talked about traveling on the cheap and tips and tricks that I use to travel on a budget. What I wanted to do today was give you a rundown on how I plan a trip. I just finished planning a trip back to Southeast Asia. I'm stoked about it, and I want to show you guys, the step-by-step process of going through the reservations and the flights and why I chose certain forms of transportation over others and all that good stuff. So without further ado, I'm gonna take you to one of the apps that I use. I got the trip all mapped out, so I'll walk you through that. There we go. Okay, so here we are on my laptop. I have open here my Travelers Point profile. Travelers Point is one of the resources I use. It's a website, helps you plan trips. One of the great things about this site is that once you input all the information, flights and cities, it maps the trip out for you, like so. So it's really cool. I won't get into the whole, what else this site does and the other apps I use, like Trip Hobo here and Tripcase, which I found recently and which is really good. I'll be doing a video about these and some other travel sites and apps that I use or have used, and give you pros and cons on those. But for now, we're gonna stick to my Travelers Point map view, only to give you or show you where I'm going and how I'm getting there. So planning out this trip, I had originally wanted to start off somewhere in Indonesia, preferably Bali, but I decided to hold off on Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia and Thailand. I'm starting off in Saigon and I'll be returning from Bangkok. So what I did was, rather than do a whole package deal with all the flights together, because I realized that that was crazy expensive, I just actually did the whole itinerary on Orbitz just to see how much it was if I had done it all in one package deal. And today, the price of that trip, airfare alone, would be $3,568. That's just airfare alone. That's not counting accommodations, food, all that stuff. What I had decided on doing was, and I found it a whole lot cheaper, was to fly from New York to Saigon. Everything in between I would book separately, and then fly back home from Bangkok. Now what I did was, I usually use Orbitz to book my flights. I used the multiple destination option. What you could do is you book from your point of origin. For me, it's New York City, flying into Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, and then I'll be returning from Bangkok to New York. And this trip right here, this round trip, actually only cost me $611. So all the other flights and transportation I'm using regional airlines such as AirAsia and Air Vietnam. Comes out a whole lot cheaper that way, and I'll give you the details about that now. So flying into Saigon, we're gonna spend a couple of days there. Here we go. 2 days in Saigon, and then we're flying to Phu Quoc Island, which is in Vietnam. It's off the western coast of Vietnam, kind of near the Cambodian border. Now Phu Quoc is kind of off the beaten path. I mean, it's becoming a little popular as of late, but it's still kind of one of those best kept secrets. So we'll be spending a few nights there. This will be the only time we're actually going to be hanging out at the beach or whatever. And then we're going to fly back to Ho Chi Minh City. This round trip flight here I booked separate. It was through Vietnam Airlines. This trip only cost about $70 round trip per person, which is awesome. So we're flying back into Saigon. From Saigon, as soon as we land, we're gonna go and we're gonna take a bus from Saigon to Phnom Penh, Cambodia. This bus ride is only $15 per ticket, and it's a 6-hour drive. Now, some people are like, 6 hours on a bus, man, that's a lot. Well, you figure, first of all, the flights were incredibly expensive. I wasn't gonna pay $200 for an hour and 15-minute flight. Second of all, when you factor in having to be at the airport 2 hours ahead of time before your flight, landing, any delays if there are any, going through checkpoints, it's gonna come out to about 4 hours traveling by plane anyway. So, you know, another 2 hours, it's fine. You know, you get to see the countryside, we'll rest up a little, and then we'll hit Phnom Penh that evening. So we're gonna spend a couple of nights there. We're gonna check out the sites. We're staying in the city, centrally located near a lot of the usual suspects where people visit. And then from there, we are going to take a flight to Chiang Mai. We're gonna hang out in Chiang Mai for a few days. To northern Thailand. Again, I didn't get to see the north the last time I was in Thailand. Totally different vibe. I don't know, we probably just chill out. I know the one thing that we both, Anna Marie and I, wanted to do is get tattoos. I got a sack yank the last time I was in Thailand, and hopefully I could get another one, this time from a monk or an Arjan. And she would also like to get one. We're gonna plan on doing that. Maybe some zip lining. After Chiang Mai, we're gonna fly back to Bangkok, and we're gonna spend a couple of days there. This time around, I'm staying in Koh San Road. Last time I was in Bangkok, I was in the Sukhumvit area. This time we'll be on Koh San Road. I wanted to see this part. There's a lot to see around there that I didn't get to see the last time I was there, so looking forward to that. And then flying back home. So this is our 17-day Southeast Asia trip. Now, as far as accommodations go, most of the accommodations I booked through Agoda. I found Agoda during my last trip. I needed a hotel overnight in Shanghai, and I found a really good deal on this site. What's great about Agoda is that they have an option for pay later, which means that you could hold a room, and if you cancel within the time frame they give you, you don't incur any fees or penalties. I do that just in case I do find something a little better, something nicer. I could have the option of canceling out the room and booking the new room that I find. So altogether, airfare and all came out to about $850. That's just the airfare. Now rooms was a little bit extra. I want to say it was probably under $500 total. And then food and stuff, it's Southeast Asia. It's so inexpensive. I mean, we could eat every day for probably about $10. I mean, it's that inexpensive. So yeah, that was the trip. And again, I'm totally stoked. Can't wait. And yeah, that's it. So stay tuned. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to like. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. And talk to you guys soon. Peace.